She was the conqueror of planets, but she meets her most deadly opponent, the common house cat. The story begins on a research vessel, where the Empire's most brilliant researcher, Liza, suggests that they should eliminate all the life forms on a planet because the civilization is too primitive. But a man named Roy tells her that every planet is unique, and it might be hiding something which could be useful to their empire. We learn that their Azathoth Empire controls countless planets, and they have set their sights on Earth. Liza goes to Earth so that she can observe it, and she immediately calls it the most primitive planet. She doubts that she'll find anything unique, so she thinks about destroying it. At that moment, she receives a call telling her that the Empire wants to know about the Earth's cuisine, so she goes to a cafe, but it's actually a cat cafe. She pays for 30 minutes, and the shopkeeper, Seiji, takes her to a room full of cats. She looks around the room, and Liza asks about the cats, so he introduces one of them as Hajime. She sits down, and as she looks at the cats that are moving around her, she thinks they are so cute. We learn that she has studied over 66 trillion species in the galaxy, but none of them can compare to the cat's cuteness. She thinks that since cats are so cute, the humans must revere and worship them, so she is determined to dig deeper. Seiji asks if she is afraid of cats, and she reveals that this is just her first time meeting one, because she is from another planet, but Seiji doesn't believe her. She asks Seiji about the cats on the planet, so he reveals that there are over 10 million cats in Japan alone, and the number of domestic cats keeps on increasing, which surprises Liza, as she starts to think that Earth is a fairyland, since there are so many cats that can be kept as pets. She thinks about all the creatures she loved as a child, and she realizes that they are all garbage when compared to cats, seeing them as the ultimate life form. Liza receives a call from the research vessel, asking her if she found anything interesting. But she decides not to tell them about the cats, since their captain, Mickety, goes nuts over animals. Mickety suggests purging the planet, but Liza stops him, claiming that her investigation has just begun. Hajime goes to her, and Seiji suggests petting him, since he wants her attention, but Liza is afraid that her heart will pop if she touches the cat. Hajime touches her, making her feel like her heart is about to explode, and she looks at his paw pads, thinking that it looks too precious. The next day, Seiji reports that an alien entered the cafe, but his coworker, Kasumi, thinks that he is joking, but Seiji is actually convinced that she really is an alien, because of the way she behaved. At that moment, they see Liza running away from a dog, and Seiji tells Kasumi that she's the alien. Liza wonders why the dog is chasing after her, thinking that it's because of the ball she's holding. She notices the dog's tail, and she falls to her knees because it's so cute. The dog takes the ball and goes back to its owner. Kasumi tells Liza that the dog thought she was playing with it, but she walks away, claiming that her heart can't handle the excitement. Hajime suddenly appears before her, so she steps back, but she sees the dog behind her. Liza falls to her knees once again, convincing Kasumi that she really is an alien, because her reaction is out of this world. Kasumi reveals that dogs used to outrank cats as the #1 household pet, and Liza thinks about the dog's appearance, realizing that they are a different kind of cute. Kasumi and Seiji talk about whether cats or dogs are better, while Liza thinks of it as a multidimensional feud. Kasumi invites Liza to her place so that she can learn more about dogs, and Liza sees this as the perfect opportunity to learn more about Earthlings. They go to Kasumi's house, where Liza sees a golden retriever, surprised at its size. Behind her, Liza sees a smaller toy poodle, making her realize that dogs come in many different varieties. She returns to her research vessel, where Roy expects her to say something about Earth, but she claims that her research must not be rushed. She tells Seiji about this, as she admits that she's supposed to be working, but she's wasting time at the cat cafe, thinking about the cuteness of cats and dogs. That evening, they head home, and Liza admits that she wasn't able to do anything productive that day. They stumble upon an abandoned cat in a box, which is in bad shape, making Liza upset. She uses the Empire's system to scan the cat, revealing that it is severely malnourished, so she freezes time in the surrounding area to supply nourishment to the cat and look for its original owner. We learn that the original owners abandoned the cat because they didn't want to feed it, and the system reveals their location. A beam of light suddenly appears from the sky, hitting the original owners. Time resumes, and the cat regains consciousness. It immediately takes a liking to Liza, who freaks out as the cat approaches her, so Kasumi tells her to keep it. She initially refuses, but she notices that the cat is becoming sad, so she decides to adopt it. Later, Roy asks her why she used the artillery, wanting to know what is happening on Earth, but she refuses to reveal anything to him. Roy hears the sound of the cat meowing, but Liza ends the call, and he becomes worried, knowing that it's the sound of an unknown creature. Kasumi asks Liza what she wants to name the cat, explaining that Earthlings treat pets as family, but Liza can't seem to come up with a name for it. That evening, she calls on Seiji while she's having a hard time dealing with the cat, since it requires constant attention. Seiji teaches her how to feed the cat, but it just won't let her go, making Seiji think that the cat is really desperate for attention. At that moment, she receives a call from Roy, who wants to know what she is hiding, since they know that she is with an unknown creature. She is about to tell them about the cat, but the cat pounces at her, making her scream as she falls to the ground. They hear the cat's noise, while Liza reveals that she is having trouble training the cat, but an Earthling is helping her out. However, Seiji states that cats can't be trained or controlled, because they are superior species, so they will just do whatever they want to do. Roy hears this, and he starts to think that humans are no longer at the top of the food chain, and that cats could be their natural enemies. They think that the cat is trying to sabotage the transmission, but Liza claims she can handle it, ending the call, while they continue to wonder what kind of creature she encountered. That evening, Liza admires the cat's appearance, saying it reminds her of the stars floating in the night sky, so she decides to name the cat Yuzora. As she lies in her bed, she can't fall asleep, because Yuzora is trying to sleep in the same bed. She is afraid that if she falls asleep, she will roll over and crush Yuzora, so she uses the system to create a backup for her heart, which she thinks is about to explode, and form a protective barrier around Yuzora. Liza tells Seiji and Kasumi about this, but they call it a waste of technology. In a flashback, we see Liza walking in some ruins, as a group of humanoid creatures attack her. She uses the system to fight back, and we learn that she was able to conquer that race, which had the greatest warriors in the cosmos. On top of that, she was also able to turn the most uninhabitable star into a planet that could sustain life. However, she is now having a hard time against cats. Roy tells everyone in a meeting about this, as he shows them an ugly creature which he believes is a cat, since it makes the same sound. He sees it as a threat, so he plans to deploy forces to the planet in case Liza needs help. Meanwhile, Liza learns how to protect herself from freaking out, by using a shield to block Yuzora when it pounces at her. But this makes Yuzora sad, so it walks away and takes a break. Kasumi observes Yuzora's body language, thinking that it's sad because Liza doesn't want to play with it anymore. So she goes to Yuzora, revealing that she just wanted to speed up the training process, since they don't have enough time to do it the normal way. Liza tells Kasumi and Seiji that the Empire might send forces to invade Earth, because the last transmission was a mess. And we learn that the Imperial Army has some of the greatest soldiers and minds in the universe. But Liza thinks that they will also be defeated by the cat's cuteness, predicting a large number of casualties, as she claims that their hearts will explode upon seeing a cat. She fears for her comrades, not wanting any of them to die since they have been good to her. Kasumi thinks she's joking, but she is actually serious, so Kasumi suggests making Yuzora her friend, so that the Empire will not see cats as a threat. Yuzora goes to Liza, making some gestures, and they think that it is nervous that it will bump into the shield again. It rests on Liza's lap, as she is overloaded by its cuteness, so she uses the system to make it float, as it gives her a blank stare. Liza thinks she can't leave the apartment to continue her investigation, thinking about what would happen to Yuzora if it is left alone, so she considers working from her apartment. She uses the system to contact Seiji, who is surprised to see her. Liza wants to meet Seiji's cat, so he introduces her to his cat Emily, but he is surprised because Liza isn't overreacting, so he starts throwing a tantrum and she cuts off the connection. Liza realizes that she can maintain her composure if she sees other pet owners who are showing weird behavior. She wants to learn how other people handle cats, so she contacts her neighbor, Korone, who also has a cat. Liza asks her if she can come over, and Korone tells her that she can let herself in. Liza uses the system to contact her, but Kasumi tells her to use the front door, saying it is basic Earth etiquette, so she cuts off the connection and goes to Korone's place, who who already knows that Liza is an alien. She tells Korone that she just can't leave Yuzuru alone, but Korone hears her cat making a noise, so she rushes over to it, and we learn that she is also having problems with her cat. Liza learns about an app called Twitter, where people post pictures of their pets online, so she checks it out and loses it over all the cute pictures. But Yuzuru steps on her phone and gives off an ominous aura, as it looks like it doesn't want Liza to fantasize about other cats. So she takes some cute pictures of Yuzuru as she shakes the phone around, resulting in blurry pictures. Liza posts it, and she receives a comment from Seiji, who is pretending to be Lady Emily, as he writes a comment full of cat puns. She receives a call from Roy, informing her that they are falling behind schedule, so 2 members of the research team are headed her way.